Hey guys, my name's John Gorman, also known as Johnny Starr. I'm a Melbourne-based real estate agent and I own an activewear company called NeverHome, and I'm on the Fitness and Lifestyle podcast.
Welcome to the Fitness and Lifestyle podcast. I'm your host, Danny Kennedy, and I'm here to help you become the very best version of yourself. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure to have you on, man.
I bumped into you the other day.
Yeah,
How random was that?
How random, man. I remember when I sent you a DM last week, I looked through and I'd sent you one, I reckon maybe I got to have a look. I think it was like 2017, 2018. And when we had a quick chat last night on the phone, we were talking about, I reckon we met once or twice early days when I was at EHP Labs at like an expo or something like that. But man, you've been in like a kind of a popular figure in the fitness industry for so long now. And I think in this industry, you see people come and go. People kind of have a big bump and then just disappear and you don't really hear about them again.
Yeah.
It feels like you've kind of maintained a lot of relevance and also just your personality in the industry for so long. How have you kind of changed as a person since when you first came into the industry until now?
I think I haven't changed deep down. Like I'm still the same. I'm still a kid deep down that loves going to the gym. The only thing that's probably changed is my wisdom, like my knowledge how to run businesses and my real estate and everything I do. But I've just matured really. Mm-hmm. And my knowledge is always, as the older you get, you kind of learn new things. Yeah. But I'm always looking for new knowledge. But what's changed is my heart's still the same. Like I'm still the same friendly, outgoing guy that loves bodybuilding. And but what's changed is probably my ability to deal with situations better. Because when I was younger, I was probably a little bit naive or a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? I was a little bit green with how the world works.
Yep.
You know, when you're young, you just like think everything's roses.
You become very reactive to things too.
Yeah, exactly. So, but there's just trial and error.
Yeah.
But I just kept persisting. But deep down, I'm still the same kid. I still feel like I'm 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. just doubled in age.
You said something when we had a quick chat last night. You asked me how old I was and you're like, once you hit 30, you start giving less of a fuck.
Yeah.
Do you feel like early days you gave a lot more of a fuck?
Yeah, definitely.
And what really changed for you in order to give less fucks about people's opinions or whatever it may be that you were reacting to early on?
I think, yeah, so I was just speaking to my girlfriend about this last night. She's in IT sales. Yep. And she's so stressed out about speaking. She's so stressed about speaking next Tuesday in front of all her colleagues, like a national thing or something. I said to her, babe, don't stress because half the time no one's actually that interested.
Correct.
Like you think everyone's looking at you and watching what you're doing. Like people might not even watch this whole podcast. They'll just skip through it. Yeah. And it'll be another podcast that, that's the reality of it. Because so many podcasts come up, I don't watch them all. I'm too busy. So once I realized that everyone's so busy, caught up in their own world that you just make an effort and do things. And then, if you get a bit of flack for it, it's yesterday's news anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So once I learned that and learned how other people think, I stopped really caring. And I just started to back myself more and more and more. And I just became more relentless with what I was doing. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. But that only happened sort of once I turned about 30. I think in my 20s still, I was too worried about what people thought, worried about if I put content out, would it get traction, would it get clicks? Like sometimes I stress out if I put a post up and it didn't get enough likes, I'd freaking archive it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of almost a need for external validation a bit. And you get to that point where you don't need the external validation. I think if and when you get to that point, that's when you kind of set yourself free a bit and you can be a bit more authentic to yourself when you're not needing or wanting an instant reaction or instant gratification from every little kind of thing that you do.
100%. Yeah, I agree. But in saying that too, like there's nothing wrong with wanting gratification. It feels good. Like everyone wants to look good, feel sexy, be wanted, be popular, have power. Like men want power, right? I want to be powerful in my own little way. So there's nothing wrong with wanting that. That's just being a human and the hierarchy of like human existence, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there's values. The more powerful you are, the more you can provide or the more people aspire to be like you.
Yep.
your hierarchy goes up and up and up, and you want to climb that ladder as a guy to be at the top. I feel like, but at the same time, don't put all your eggs into that. Like that's not what it's all about too. You want to be happy at the end of the day as well.
Yeah, that can't be your source of self-worth.
No, because you'll just keep going. There's always someone, who's doing better, and you'll just keep comparing yourself.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's a fine line. It's kind of difficult.
Yeah. When was the moment for you where you felt like you gained a lot of that traction, where you really knew you were having an impact? Because it's probably a weird thing to think about, but it's like there would be so many people out there that have gained inspiration or changed their life through your content.
That's so
right?
good,
Whether it's socials, whether it's getting to meet you in person at an expo.
Yeah.
And so that's like, one, it's a big responsibility, but two, it's a fucking awesome thing. It's so
It's
cool
so
to
good.
think
I
about.
really enjoy it. Yeah. You get the same because I watch your podcast. So I'm like, oh, this guy's good. Knows what he's talking about. Very confident, good looking, good physique. Because the physique, you need the physique to back it up.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
Practice what you preach, right?
Yeah, exactly. So when was the point? It's probably when I made my Facebook Johnny Starr page years ago, and I went to. So my goal, and I think a lot of people can relate to this. Well, this is what inspired me heaps was when I was 18. I went to Summer Days, this festival, and I saw these jacked guys shredded at a festival, and I saw how much attention they got, and I said to myself, my life mission is to go to one of these festivals and look like that. So I did it 3 years later. It was about 4 years later I did it, sorry. 18, and then at 22, I looked sick. I went to a festival, made my page, and I was just, people would ask me for photos. I'm like, this is sick. Like, who am I,
Yeah.
People they just wanted photos with me. I'm like, whoa, this is pretty cool. I can do something with this. I'll just tell people how I did it.
Yeah.
So there's no intention to grow a following, because back then there was no Instagram. There was no influencers weren't really a thing.
Wasn't really a thing.
Because I started back 2012. Kids were like 5 years old when, this is 17-year-olds now were like five watching back then. But I was in my early 20s. And then that's when I kind of knew, okay, I can actually do something with this. So then I just enjoyed making the content. And from there, I just was myself all the time, just kept putting myself out there and being pretty raw. I think when you're raw and vulnerable, tell people how it is. I'm still just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
The journey with it all, but I'm enjoying it. And I think that's what people like, authenticity. You can sense the bullshit. There's a lot of people full of shit.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean? So it was from that moment there, and that day I made that page, and then it started to get like 100 likes, 200 likes, and I hit 1,000. I'm like, whoa,
yeah,
my Facebook page has 1,000 likes. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And that's where it kind of started.
Did you have that person for yourself? As in, as I said, you're inspiration for other people.
Yeah.
Was there someone that you really saw that stood out to you or drove you to make those changes for yourself?
For personal development, or just like physique wise, or just in general?
Both.
So my biggest inspo physically were Ziz.
Did you ever meet him?
Never met him, no.
No.
Know his brother really well. So there's a guy called Greg Plitt.
Yeah.
Greg Plitt, for me, I would sit there and watch his videos in my bedroom, and I was so inspired by this guy's mindset. I said, Greg is just, he's the coolest. Ziz, Greg, and Rob Riches. I really looked up to those three people. But the way Greg would speak, Az was so cool. He's just confident, right?
Yeah.
That confidence is what every man should aspire to be like. Didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Had the rig, even if it was Persona or not, it was sick. And it got his legacy till today, right?
Yeah.
And Greg was the same, where he'd be like, I always took this from Greg. Greg would say, getting physique, you learn to get the physique, and then you want to be able to create something with the physique.
Yeah.
Go out, be likable, make the content, do things, go and be easy to work with.
Yep.
When you're doing a shoot, be fun to work with. Like I'm with you guys, I just try and be fun, bring you a gift, just be a good person. I was always inspired by Greg and Rob Riches too. Rob was great. He was, because these physiques were, you would see them and you're like, that might be attainable. Like you see Ronnie Coleman, I thought that would be attainable when I was a kid, but I'm genetically,
a bit more creatine,
I'm not going to get there. Yeah. That's genetics, man. And the Phil Heath and the Arnold's, they're probably unattainable physiques, but you see Rob Riches and Greg, you can do that.
Yeah.
That's a physique that's achievable.
Yeah.
And that's what really inspired me. I wanted a sick aesthetic, really achievable physique, and then having the personality to back it up. So I actually got a lot of inspiration from those people to sort of be like them.
Was your work ethic in this space, and then carries across to real estate, to NeverHome, which we'll touch on today as well?
Yeah.
Was that work ethic instilled really early on, or did you get that from building the physique?
The work ethic, no. So I don't know why, but I always didn't mind working from a young age. I don't know why. I just always did it. So
Parents have an influence on that?
parents, no. My parents are like just extremely middle class. But dad always worked long hours, but he just worked at the tax office. Like he just had a normal, really normal middle class people. But I just always knew to work. But I think mum grew up in Fiji on a sugarcane farm, and she was a very hard worker. Like she'd make her own coconut oil and stuff like that. So I don't know where that came from, but I started working at Macca's as a young age, and I was always working, trying to save money because I always had aspirations for things like to buy my first Commodore.
Yep.
Like that cost me like $8,000 back in the day, and I was earning $6 an hour.
Yeah.
To save $8,000 when you're earning $6 an hour takes a very long time, right? I was hustling, doing pizza delivery and all these things. But the work ethic was probably just something in me because I always was aspiring and visualizing things that I wanted. You know what I mean? So I visualized things. For some reason, I could achieve those things. I'd always get what I wanted. I visualize it. For some reason, I'd always get it every single time. I don't know how, but it just sort of happened.
It's that belief. Once you've got the intention and you truly believe that it's going to happen, and you don't need it straight away, but you just have that belief that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's the law of attraction, man.
The law of attraction's real. It sounds
real.
a bit weird.
It is, man.
It definitely works. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah.
When you're in a position like you're in now with your physique, so like you see a lot of young guys, and I remember like back in the day for myself, it was like looking up to certain physiques and trying all the fucking diets and all the training programs and everything, and just thinking like, man, if I can get to this point, like how sick would that be? Like when you're like physique wise, position you're in now, you fucking look incredible, great shape, ripped as fuck, in a really good position. Like what drives you now to keep going with that, or to maintain that look and to keep pushing yourself with training and stuff, when someone would look at your physique and go, fuck, that's like the pinnacle?
Yeah. You're there right now. No, this is the physique is because I just enjoy it.
Yeah.
So there's no chore with this. It's just what happens. Because I think everyone trains anyway. Like Ollie trains, right? I'll probably go to the gym as well. You go to the gym.
Yep.
You're training anyway. So I just think, well, because I'm already training, I may as well just be a little bit better with my diet, and I just probably structure my training better. Like you know how to structure because you're a coach too. So I just do it properly. And the advantage for me is because my business is around fitness and activewear, it does keep me on track because I'm the model for the clothes.
Yeah.
So that works to my advantage. So I always think, I better stay in shape. But I don't have any urge to, because I know what it's like to be out of shape.
Yeah.
I'm not the same person I am now.
Yeah.
When I'm out of shape, I'm a different human. My confidence is low. I don't have the confidence I have when I'm in this shape because I know because
self-image is different.
Yeah,
right?
you just feel shit. So I have a lot of confidence because I look this way, and only because people treat you different when you're in shape. It's sad to say it, but if I see someone who looks really good, I know the work they put into it, I just automatically respect them more.
Yeah.
And it sounds a bit like probably bad to say that, but it's just what it is, especially if you're in fitness too.
Of course.
Like all these young kids that come up to you, like, fuck, you look sick. How'd you do it? Like they almost idolize you a little bit, right?
Yep.
But they look up to you. And I remember when I used to look up to these older guys and be like, man, I want to be like that one day. I want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I just feel good being in shape.
You mentioned when we spoke last night that NeverHome it's 10 years now since you started the brand?
10 years, yeah.
What was the initial aspiration for the brand? And I'm keen for you to share a bit about like the growth and the story up until this point. Like just the consistency, the
inconsistency too.
Inconsistency and consistency, yeah. And just like the vision for the brand and how you've gone about it. Even as I said, when we spoke last night, you gave some really good insight into that story and where it's at the moment too, which I think is super inspiring as well. So run us through like the whole I guess story around NeverHome and why it started and where it's at now. So
it's always cool to have your own thing, and I always wanted it. So when I was 16, I still remember the day. I was sitting in my back of the dad's car. So I want to make clothes that have inspirational little things on them to get people motivated. Because I just, as a young kid, I always was picky with what I wore. But you go through these trends. So I'd have like, I went through my skater mode.
Yeah.
Where I'd have like this chain, I'd have these baggy shirts, baggy pants, skater shoes. Because it was a stage where I wanted to be a pro skater. Did you go through that stage?
No, I didn't know that.
I was like obsessed with skateboarding. So I got all these skateboards. I was just obsessed.
Rocking the globes.
Globe World Cup. Like me and my mates I was skateboarding to school every day, just learning to grind, ollie kickflip, tray flips. I was just loving it. Don't know why I went off of that tangent, but I thought I better do this. And then actually there was a pivotal point in my life which made me actually, because you have an idea, but most people don't implement the idea and take action.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many ideas that happen now, and you've probably got one too watching it, but you're not taking action. I said, I better take action. But I was lucky in a way that I had an incident where my brother had a house party at my house, my parents' house, and the party got gate crashed. So 40 guys were trying to get into the party, and we didn't let them in. In a nutshell, there was a fight. I got stabbed twice in my chest and the back of my head. I got hacked in the back of the head with a meat cleaver and stabbed in the chest. So I was in the back of the ambulance, got to hospital, blah, 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 blah. And then I thought, fuck, this could have been pretty bad. Like I could have been severely injured or killed. So he hit me in the back of the head with a meat cleaver that big and hacked me. There's a big scar on the back of my head. I'll show you after the podcast. I thought, fuck, lucky he didn't hit my face. Like I was on the ground and he hacked me in the back of the head. If I looked up, he would have cut my face open. And even when he stabbed me in the chest with the knife, like it just went into my chest there. Luckily I was working out. They had a bit of a pec to like, bit
of armor on there. Yeah.
So I thought, fuck. And then I went through counseling for that for about 10 weeks. I thought, fuck, all right, you know what? It can go at any time. Like you take it for granted, I've got to fucking do something. And that really motivated me to take my training more serious. It was like one of those points where like, shit, life's pretty, you don't know. People get killed all the time just driving to work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I thought I'd take action. So started NeverHome. And at the time, I was just trying to figure it out. I thought of the brand and then I kind of just found manufacturers and went from there. So I thought of a name, did the logos. This was when I was about 22. But it really started from me getting stabbed and motivating me to actually do it. So I hope that doesn't take a life-turning event to make you do something. But that's what motivated me to do it, and then I just took action.
Yeah, I say this all the time with clients. Like, our life is practically like an hourglass, right? Like all the sand in the bottom is done, and unfortunately for a lot of people, that's where we spend most of our. Well, I feel like I don't now, but a lot of people spend a lot of their time and attention on the sand that's already in the bottom, and it doesn't matter how much sand it looks like there is in the top. You never know when that sand runs out. Right, you could be 22 years old, look at your hourglass and go, fuck, I've got heaps of sand left. Yeah, and the next day that sand's gone. Yeah. And so it's, as you said, it shouldn't take such a pivotal moment to realize that we don't have much time and that whatever it is that you want to go after, that you should just fucking go after it. Take action on whatever it is that you want. Fail often, like do these things that are going to give you the opportunity to live the life that you want to live. And off the back of that, so you start the brand in, so what you've come up with it around 22 and then you launched it in that same year or a bit later?
I was 22 years old. So I thought of it in 23 and I launched it officially in 24 when I registered the business. So 24. It's been 10 years now.
And give us some insight into where it's at today.
Yeah, so...
Because you've got a lot going on, obviously, right? Like you got your real estate business, a lot of social media stuff as well. Yeah. And so... where's it at, and how do you fit that in?
It's been a big journey, this brand, and I've only got to where I'm at because I'm only where I'm at now, which I'm really happy with, is because I've made so many mistakes. I've made more mistakes than most people, and I've learned a lot of lessons. So it's really good. You want to fail fast and keep moving. Yep. You heard that saying. So where the brand is now is I thought, fuck, how am I going to, I want this to be, you're going to think I'm crazy. I want it to be $1 trillion company, right? That's a big number. So that's a lot of money. It's crazy. I think as big as I can, I may as well try as big as I can. And then the bigger the goal, it's actually easier to work towards bigger goals because
it is.
You take it so much more serious. If you just think, I'll just have a little clothing brand, I'll sell, 10 grand a month or whatever. You piss fart around. You have to have really big specific goals to work towards, even with your training or whatever it is. So like, I'll set the goals really big. I only learned this from audiobooks.
Yep.
I read a lot of audiobooks telling you got to think big. So I kept visualizing, watching people do these podcasts. I'm watching all these guys running these brands. I'm like, wait a second. these guys are no better than me. I actually think I can outwork these guys, and I sound silly, but I can do it. Like they're doing it, I can do it. Self-belief, right? Plus, I'm in the industry. I'm at the gym every day. I mean, people it's got to be me that does this.
Yeah.
It has to be me. I'm the one that has to do this. I'm in the gym every freaking day. I've been in it for so long. I live and breathe the activewear. So where the brand is now, so got some momentum. You know, I was doing okay here and there, doing a drop, selling it here and there, just putting the money back in, doing my real estate. It was okay. Did the podcast, put those out because I wanted to share the music. And then I thought, fuck, I really got to give this another crack again hard. So about 2 or 3 years ago, I thought I got to go all in at this again and really push this thing. So I found more manufacturers, went to more expos, textile expos, networked with some more manufacturers, found some really good ones to work with. I found 5. I narrowed it down to 5 because I use different people. Person who made this didn't make that jumper.
Right.
The person who made these socks didn't make. They're all different.
Different manufacturers.
Because some specialize in different things.
Yeah.
So you want to go with the specialists. Like that's a very good hoodie. You can tell, right? It's actually
100%.
It's off its head.
Awesome material, sick
Yeah.
color.
There's
Good
a lot
fits.
of so it's good quality. So I thought, okay, I'll make sure the product is world class, and then I'll design it for people like us. Get that right. Then I'll make sure I can get it marketed properly. So I'll just use myself as the marketing. And then I've got to make products that people actually need and want. Okay, I couldn't find good gym shorts. So see how short these shorts are, right?
Yeah.
I wanted shorts.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find any good ones that I liked. They were really breathable and stretchy and just comfortable. So I designed these, and when I did my first drop, they fucking went really well. Like they sold out. Like shit, this is good. You know? Oh wow, this is great. Back then I was just doing shoots in my kitchen. So I just had a backdrop I was trying to save money. So I did a backdrop in my kitchen. My mate would come around, take photos, and we just put them on Shopify. And I literally I didn't run any ads. I just used my social media. There's no paid advertising there. Yeah. So I never ran ads for 9 years. I've never run any ads. It's all
still organic now?
No, now I run ads. I spend like $200 a day on ads on Meta.
Yep.
And TikToks, I'm spending, as of tomorrow, I'm spending $300 a day on TikTok ads.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a good return. I'm just trying that.
Are you doing with the ads at the moment with Meta? Are you using Advantage Plus or are you specifying the audience?
Oh, I have an agency.
Pretty detailed question, but
I don't know. I just got an agency that does it. I'll just leave it to them. I actually don't understand. Advantage Plus? I'm not sure.
It's kind of using AI. Like even with Unify, we've been trialing at the moment because we're still not with an agency. We're kind of just doing it ourselves.
Okay.
And we've been trialing Advantage Plus where Meta basically just picks the audience based off AI.
That's amazing.
And it's been more effective than our targeted audiences.
I'll ask Jesse who runs my ads and find out. But they've been pretty good. Like sometimes our ROAS is 7. It's fucking good, man.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Really good.
It's huge. But it's more around when you do a drop.
Yeah.
So cut a long story short, this is where you need a fail in business. So I made a huge mistake in the business where I released these shorts and the design on them, I had 3 stripes. And Adidas owned all the copyright copyright for anything with 3 stripes. They own that. You can't put 3 stripes on anything. Adidas own that. So people are like, oh, you better be careful. It's, Adidas own that. I'm like, shit. Okay, yeah, good point. So anyway, freaking, I get this 50-page cease and desist in the mail from Adidas. They're like this massive law firm. I'm like, oh shit, fuck. Someone obviously went to them.
Off, yeah.
Someone, I don't know how they would have found out, but I'm so small. But Adidas came at me. I'm like, whoa, okay. I was actually really stressed at the time. I'm like, fuck, this is a big deal. Went to one lawyer. He's like, you're screwed. He's pretty much shut the business down. I'm like, nah, fuck that.
Cheers, brother.
I'm going to shut my business down. Like, fuck that. No way. I'll do what I want.
Yeah.
Went to another lawyer. He's like, hey, don't stress. You're a small business. You made a mistake. Just, fix it up. All they want is I just don't want other brands to be in competition with them and have 3 stripes on. I'm like, cool. So I sorted it out. Just a few little legal fees. It cost me I worked it out about 36 grand it cost me to get rid of it all. And I had to destroy like 600 pairs of shorts. And I wasn't, and then I'm under surveillance now that if I do any posts on my websites with any 3-stripe shorts or 2-stripe shorts, I have to pay them $1,000 a day in damages. Adidas. So that's what I'm under now with them. But anyway, so while that happened, I ordered shorts with 2 stripes. I'm like, oh, surely this will be fine. So I ordered another lot of shorts with 2 stripes, like all these new colors, best design. And then they came at me and said,
Same thing.
They said, you can't sell those either. I'm like, oh, you're kidding me.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? You're kidding me. They go,
2 stripes. They can do that with 2 stripes as well.
well, here's the thing, right? I'm like, no, it's you own 3 stripes. You don't own 2 stripes. What are you talking about? You know? And then they said, nah, look, they said to me, you've sold the shorts with 3 stripes. I don't even know I'm allowed to speak about this legally, but whatever comes, I'll just deal with it. It's okay. It's not a big deal. It's all, they just want to hold that, own that, right? So they said your 2 stripes look too similar to 3 stripes, and you've only sold those 3 stripe shorts because
3 stripes.
Because they look like Adidas. You can't sell those either. I'm like, oh, fucking hell. All right. I said, no stress. But what happened was that actually turned me into a bulldog. I said, fuck, you know what? This is great. I'll tell this story as the underdog coming up, you know, when the big company is trying to, you know, just shut me down. And that actually motivated me like crazy. So I became a fucking bulldog with what I wanted to do. I'm like, fuck this. I'm going all in. So now I will make this the biggest brand in the world. I will do it. I'll figure it out. And I'm very confident about that. So this is where in life you have to think outside the box.
Yeah.
Because everyone's working in this box and fucking following all the rules. I'm like,
doing all the logical stuff.
I'm like, I'm going to change the game. I know I can.
Yeah.
I've backed myself. So here's the cool thing. And I figured this out. And everyone, if you can do this, you're set. What I've done changed the game for me. So because I was putting so much good content out, I was attracting a lot of people to me. Went to the gym one day and this guy came up to me. He's like, oh, you're Johnny Starr. I'm like, hey, how are you? You know, because I'm always so friendly.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, we're big fans of yours. You know, I saw your legs. I knew it was you. I'm like, oh, thanks, bro. Thanks so much. And I shook his hand. You know,
Saw your legs.
Yeah. So I met these 2 guys, lovely guys. And because he knows I'm in real estate. He goes, oh, you're a real estate agent. I'm like, oh, he goes, I'm a property developer. I'm doing developments.
Yeah,
I'm like, sick. I'm like, give me some houses to sell. Let me make some money. He goes, all right. So he gives me 12 houses to sell. I'm like, sick. Got his listings. Then he gave me another 4 to sell. Cool. Then he gave me another 2 to sell. Then another 10. Then another 10. Gave me these properties to sell. I'm like, fuck, this guy's got a lot of homes he's selling. You know, what's going on here? So I'm thinking, fuck, what a good client. You know, then I heard about this guy. I'm like, fuck, he's actually moving and shaking a lot of homes. So we became good friends, and this guy always had this high prices on his homes. And I thought I better work my ass off and look after this guy because he can feed me a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm really inspired by him. So he was doing these projects, and man, he was asking 800 grand for 2-bedroom like townhouses units, and it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I freaking got the prices for him because he wouldn't say no. So cut a long story short, I found out that this guy's a billionaire, and he's my client, really low key. And he's doing land banking. So I was with him last night. His name's Harry. I was trained with him yesterday. Now he's like my best mate. We're best friends. And I thought, oh, this guy's such a sick cunt. He's doing well. And he's only 43.
Yeah.
42, 43. So he's done really well.
Yeah, really.
You think about, he's from overseas and he's made that much money in a short amount of time. Very smart guy. Started with like nothing. Came here like 60 cents in his bank account at one stage, lost it all gambling, driving taxis and all these things. I'm like, okay, this is cool. This guy's hustling. And he saw something in me. He goes, Johnny, you're so good. Let's screw your other real estate agencies. Let's start our own agency. You can sell all my properties for me. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. He's like, why not? I'm like, I've got a brand.
Yeah.
I believe in my brand so much. So I started trading him and he goes, look, I want to go travel. I want to go to Tomorrowland. I'm like, I've been there. We'll get you shredded for Tomorrowland. So got him shredded for Tomorrowland. And he started living the lifestyle. He really liked it. Training, he's getting shredded. He's really liking it. Cut a long story short, I said to him, hey, I've got this brand. Do you want to go partners with me in this? I need some backing. Like I need someone with some money, because I had so many people approaching me. But if you don't have money to back these things up, like you need cash flow to do this, right?
100%.
And you need someone who actually has money. You know, there's people who have money, and then there's levels to this shit.
Yeah, of course.
And then there's even more levels to this stuff. Because there's just, when you're earning millions and millions a month, it's very different.
Yeah, of course.
So he goes, I love it. He goes, yeah, let's do it. All right. So actually, he owns 46% of NeverHome now. I sold it to him. So he's helped me financially. we're getting this thing off the ground. So now I have a little bit more funds to do things. So I thought to myself, okay, I need to Shark Tank this. Well, how do I do it? What I'll do is first I will find the investor, give him more than he wants for it, because me owning 100% of something small, who gives a fuck, right? I'd rather own half of something huge.
Huge, of course.
I know this is going to get me exponential growth. I thought, you know what I'll do is I will actually tell everyone that I've got this partner too, so people take me more serious. I don't know, did you know I had a partner?
I didn't.
Okay, yeah, so my partner's a billionaire, right?
Yeah.
And he's a legend. So now I've got this guy that can help back me up. It took a lot of, you need money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need things. So I don't have the money. The business has a bit more money now. So I still don't get paid out of the business. And that's allowed me to do a bit better jobs. That's why I can spend a little bit more money on TikTok ads and things
stuff,
now. Because now we have a bit more money to put back into it. He hasn't given me as much as you think, but now, you know, I said I'm opening a retail store up. The retail store that we're opening, he owns it. So he bought the building for about $6 million in Brighton a couple of years ago. And before I met him, his initial intentions was to turn it into his own personal gym and have his finance company upstairs. And then there was a residence up the top.
Yeah.
I said, I want to do a retail store. He goes, cool, I've got one on the beach in Brighton. We'll use that. I'm like, sick. So on the way here, I was on the phone to the project manager, the building manager, and my mate is a builder, organising what we're doing for the floor plan.
Yep.
I've never done a fit out for a store before, but I thought I'll figure it out. So I went from starting the brand 10 years ago, kept chipping away, doing all the fitness content, putting myself out there, never stopped the business, kept it running. It's a crazy story.
Yeah.
Think about it. How the fuck did I do this?
Yeah.
I still think to myself, how did I do this? But I kept backing myself and everyone believed in me. So I backed myself, went to rock bottom. When Adidas came at me, bro, I had $2,000 in the business account left. And all these shorts I had to destroy.
Yeah.
I had a bit of money in the business. I went to nothing. I was like, fuck. I still remember the day I'm like, to my missus, babe, what the fuck have I just done? Like this is, I was like serious. I'm like, shit. All right, I got to level up and this is going to be a sick story to tell one day.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, businesses fail all the time. Still fit, still healthy, still in shape. Fuck it. I'll keep going. Like, you got to go anyway. You may as well just keep trying. You know, as long as I got food, I'm on the table. Food on the table, I can keep going. Sorry, man, I know we're running out of time. Anyway, I got the investor on board and then I Shark Tanked it and now I cannot fail. The only reason I'll fail is if I get cooked on the coke or the party drugs, I get a big head or I don't stay grounded. That's probably the only really reasons I can fail. Otherwise, for that, if I keep doing what I'm doing, it's only growing month by month.
That's awesome, man. We obviously know, and even just hearing that story, like business and life is never really linear. It's never really a linear progression, right?
No.
Outside of the low times within the business, in life in general, what's been your lowest point, and what did you really take away from that, which has allowed you to really evolve into the person that you are today?
So a couple of years ago, when I got I had a stage where I got bullied a lot on social media, and I went off social media for social media wasn't becoming social. It was just very toxic for me. I just couldn't handle the hate. So I went off for a couple of years. I just vanished, and I just started working really hard in real estate. I was doing okay because when you don't have social media and you have a job where you don't need it, like real estate, you don't really need. Back then, you didn't really need it. You can just work hard and make money. I had nothing else to do. I was just training and doing real estate. So I was getting a bit of momentum, and then I started a sales manager of this other company. And then unfortunately, I got hooked on drugs a little bit, and I ended up finding myself in a psychosis. I was doing a long story short, I had to leave home because I was having some issues at home. And I ended up living on my mate's couch in a bungalow. And at the time I was still running my real estate job. So didn't have a place. I was living on a couch, like literally sleeping on a couch in a bungalow and going to work. And then I didn't have like a real close group of people to sort of hang out with because I was just away. So I met some new guys in the gym, but they were drug dealers. Because I get along with people, I just got along with them. And then I started doing a bit more drugs. So this is embarrassing. There was a stage where I was doing like Coke, MD, and smoking bongs on the same day. Just having fucking wild, right?
Yeah.
I was just ripping. I'd never done a bong before, so I was just ripping these bongs, and I actually went into psychosis.
Right.
And I lost my mind because when you do so much drugs, you just go really loopy.
How long did that last for?
The psychosis. I was in the psychiatric ward 3 times I went in, and the last time I was in there for a month. 28 days is the longest time they can keep you in one of those facilities.
Yeah.
So I remember I'm in the psychiatric ward. I'm like, fuck, what have I done with my life? Because I was suicidal as well. So they put me in there. I thought, fuck. I've really hit, this is really bad. What am I doing? I'm thinking, how did I get here? Why am I in a psych ward? I'm a fitness fanatic, got social media presence. Somehow I've lost it all, and my depression got me off social media. Then I got into the drugs, and now I'm in a psych ward. Like, fuck, what have I done? Like, shit. And I was out of shape then too. Like, I just lost my physique. Fuck, this is horrible. And I remember in the psych ward, I got pneumonia as well.
Yeah.
And maybe it was my mental health issues that thought people were turning on me, but I got very aggressive in there. And I thought that the nurses weren't looking after me properly because I just woke up one day in ICU. I'm like, fuck, I don't know what's going on. So I said to him, hey, you're not looking after me. Like, I told you I was sick. You just didn't give a fuck about me. I got really aggressive. I got so aggressive that I said I was going to kill everyone there. So they put me in a high security room for a couple of days. And I was in a room where it was just pretty much walls and it's like a cement bed. So you can't get out. So I'm locked in a room.
Almost like a solitary.
It was solitary.
Yeah.
I was in solitary confinement. And I remember, I'm like, fuck, what have I done? Now I'm really I'm an idiot. I remember praying, my God, fucking get me out of here. Like, what the fuck's going on? So I came a long way from that room, if you think about it. So it was a stage where they would pass my food under this little space this big under the door, and I'd eat out of these like plastic cups because they don't give you plates because you can break it up and stab yourself.
Yeah.
So it's all just like wooden things. So you can't really hurt yourself because I tried to commit suicide in there, but I just couldn't figure it out. And then I remember I had like when you take a shit or piss, they'd give you a brown like cup to shit in. And I'm thinking, fuck, I'm shitting in a cup in a solitary confinement room. Like, what the fuck's going on? So, all right, okay. I always remember, I was in there. I'm like, I would never get to this low point again. That was probably the lowest I'd ever been in that room, locked up, thinking I'm a fucking drug addict. I'm in psychosis. I just had pneumonia, and I'm in a fucking psychiatric ward. It was pretty much being in jail. It's kind of like being in jail. Probably not as bad for the people that have been in jail. But that was probably the lowest point. So now when I have a rough day, I'm thinking, wait a second.
Bit of perspective.
Fucking shitting in a cup, bro. It's solitary confinement. Nothing. I got to give a fuck about anything.
Yeah.
So now I always look back as those reference points, and I think I can do more things because I've probably had a few more lower points than a normal person.
Yeah.
That's pretty. It's pretty bad. So that was probably the lowest point of my life.
Firstly, congrats and well done on getting to the position you're in now from there. Like, you should be super proud of yourself.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I think about it too. I'm actually.
You should be so proud of yourself.
Yeah, blessed.
Man. And secondly, there'll be people watching and listening at the moment that maybe and probably most likely aren't at that point in terms of that low of a point, but going through something in their life at the moment where they feel like they're stuck or they feel like they just can't figure out how they're going to get out of that hole.
Yeah.
What were the things that helped you rebuild from a mental standpoint in particular? I know you mentioned previously, like earlier in the episode, you listen to a lot of self-help and personal development, which I absolutely love. What were the fundamental things that allowed you to rebuild, and how did you? What was the mentality around it from that really rock bottom, to then just clawing your way out of there?
Yeah, so just becoming having more maturity with myself and taking responsibility. I had to take responsibility on my life. I said, it's up to me to make the changes. And I set a plan. So I actually game plan this. I strategize. I know where I'm going. Even what I'm doing the next 5 years, I kind of got a pretty good idea. But it's the simple things. So number one is I had to get away from the groups that I was in. Because when you're a likable guy, like you just sometimes make friends with the wrong people. And you actually kind of, you have to really be careful who you hang around.
Almost inviting it in. to an extent just because of of what you're putting out. And
even
being
now,
so
people
kind and
contact me.
personal.
They're asking for, you know what I mean? So I cut off a lot of the losers. Once I cut those people off and started focusing on myself, but momentum. Because if you spend a couple hours just with those wrong people, you'll waste those days. You don't get them back. So I became relentless with my time. Got myself clean, physically and mentally. I realized that drugs and alcohol is the worst thing you can possibly do to yourself. You want to be in a good, clear state of mind. It might be fun doing drugs. It might be fun to get drunk, but you're not in a clear state of mind. And I saw this interview when someone's, people like to smoke weed, and I think weed's terrible, or any of those drugs. It might be good medicinally, but someone said something to me. They said, you think you work better because you're smoking weed, but would you jump in a plane with a pilot who's been smoking weed? Would you want to go on that plane? I said, fuck no. I wouldn't trust that guy. You know what I mean? And I took a lot from that one conversation that I heard someone say. I thought I took a lot of that. I go, no more drugs, no more alcohol, no matter what it is, I won't get influenced. If there's an event, I go, I drive in, so I have to drive home. No drinking, no bad influences. I'm going to be a machine because I've lost too much time. I wanted to make up traction. And then, so that was that. And number 2 was audiobooks every day.
Yeah.
I just said, fuck it. I watched all these great influential speakers and they said, audiobooks. I'm like, fuck it, I'll read audiobooks. So I got Audible, man. And I've got freaking hundreds of these books. And then I made it a goal to read one audiobook a week. I thought if I can do one a week, that's 50 a year. If I could do 2 a week, that's 100 a year. So I was trying to do 100 audiobooks a year. I got them all written down, every audiobook that I've listened to. And then I would just learn from these audiobooks.
If you got the list, I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, so let's here are some good ones, right? Like taking responsibility of your life, stoic mindset. Oh, these are my goals to smash in 2023. Okay. Stoic mindset, having hard conversations, self-sufficient and being alone, preparation in advance like never before, making time for things that are important, holidays, time-driven goals, living within my means, having empathy and leaving my pride and ego. And that year in 2023, I read 36 audiobooks. So not quite what I wanted to do. Then audiobooks I finished recently, The Diary of a CEO, The Difference Maker by John C. Maxwell, The 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication. So I got all these audiobooks, man. And then I put down the month and what I listened to for the month.
Mad.
And I track it. It became a game to me. So Never Split the Difference, Brian Tracy, No Excuses. Anything Brian Tracy is good. But I can share these with you.
Yeah.
Man, this is where my mindset came from. It's the books. It wasn't me knowing this shit.
Yeah.
I just outwitting the devil, the 48 laws of power. So
I'll send you my list. You're
on it too.
Yeah.
Oh, so the best. And then, man, you know what the last thing is? You know what the answer is? What I did?
What?
I just got back into the gym.
In shape.
Fucking train my ass off.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Train my ass off. Built these legs up because I'm tall, and you're tall. Like I knew that if I had good legs, I'd stand out.
Yeah.
Because that's the hardest thing to build. So fucking painful.
Yeah.
So I thought, what's going to make me stand out?
Longer levers.
Yeah, you see tall guys, shorter guys, it's always hard to build legs. But when I've got long fucking femurs, bro. My femurs are freaking long.
Yeah.
I've got to fill these things up. So I thought I better train my ass off and really get serious about my leg training. So pretty much training my legs hard taught me that everything else is easy because it's so fucking painful, right?
Yeah.
That's
one of the reasons. That's one of the explanations or the reasons behind. I get a lot of my clients start their day with either like finish on complete cold shower or do ice bath, whatever. And I know it's a bit of a exactly. It's like yes, there's physical benefits, but
it's more the mental, right?
It's doing what you said you're going to do when you don't want to do it. And then even from like a headspace perspective, like good fucking luck thinking about your stress or your anger or your resentment or whatever when you're under the cold shower. You can't think of anything. And so when I get out of that cold shower,
shower's hard, man.
When I get out of there, it's like that email that I wasn't wanting to respond to is easy. Like that leg workout, which I'm not looking forward to, is easy.
Yeah.
Everything becomes easier once you do the hard shit and you put yourself intentionally under stress.
That's right, yeah.
Because then you become so much better at dealing with it when it shows up in everyday life as well.
You're so right, bro. That's very well said. Put yourself under intentional stress and then everything else seems to be easier.
Yeah.
So, like doing this shop fit out, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how to, I'm not a builder. I was actually stressed about it. Like, fuck, how am I going to do this? Like 12 weeks. Harry said, figure it out. I'm like, fuck, okay. So I thought, how am I going to do this? But I figured it out, put myself under stress, and I kept asking and researching for advice, and I built a little team to do it. Usually you can figure it out now with all the tech that's out there now. There's usually a way to the answers are usually out there now.
Yeah.
We're in a pretty good position in life where, with what you're doing with this, by the way, Unify supplements.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Can't wait to try it.
The thing I find with that, like around, okay, the shop fit out thing, I think people come into stuff like that with it. We react to the fact that we're not good at something, and for some unknown reason, we have an expectation to be good at something that we've never done. And so what I've found that really just removes the overwhelm and the stress is broadening the time horizon of when you expect to be good at it. So you're giving yourself the license to fuck up. You're giving yourself the license to show up and not do well, but know that you weren't really expected to do well, and then you're going to continue to improve a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Whereas when, you even said about your partner being worried about the public speaking.
She's so, Hannah, why are you stressed, babe? I told her.
It's crazy, right? But it's like, okay.
Best girl.
If I haven't done much of it, why would I expect to be good at it? And so if I remove the expectation.
That's so well said. Yeah, that's so well said.
If I remove that expectation and just get the reps in, then I'll actually improve way quicker than what I would have if I tried to do it perfectly from the start.
You know what, bro? That you're so right. I'll jump in. Hannah said, I said, babe, look at me. I'm doing a podcast tomorrow with Dan. Like, I've never met Dan properly.
Yeah.
Like, we've just spoken on the phone a few times, but I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I do the auction. She goes, yeah, but you've done it all before. And she was right. I've had the experience to do these. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't want a podcast.
Yeah.
They're too worried what people will think. You just do it now because you're used to it, right?
Yeah.
You train your clients because you're used to it. You do your supplement brand, you know how to do it because you spent the time learning it. So
I talk about it all the time, man. Like when I started the podcast, I started this in 2016 and I was shit.
Yeah.
My interview skills sucked. My confidence to speak, do a solo episode was horrible. I would have basically a full script in my notes that I would try and act like I was making it up on the spot, but I would just be reading a script.
People need to hear that, bro. That's really good to hear. Yeah.
And I'm fucking so glad that I did that because that's why I feel confident now. Like how could you possibly expect to be confident at something that you haven't done? And so it just takes those reps and you just have to be okay with it being shit at the start. You have to be okay with not being good at something when you first started because that's when you give yourself that license to show up and you'll gradually get better. The more reps you get in, of course, the better you're going to get, just like the gym.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say, I preempted this, you said it. Getting good at things is just like getting big legs. It's going to take time and reps.
Yeah.
And consistency.
Of course.
So well said.
I want to ask you just quickly, I want to be mindful of your time. I know you're very, you're very transparent with everything, right? As we've heard on the show today. When it comes to training and PED usage, sorry.
Yes. We're getting you on.
Hey?
We're getting you on.
Discount code in the show notes.
Got some growth
below.
in the car, bro. Let's go jab out the back.
For someone who is watching or listening at the moment that has been, and I think the common thing you start to see now is that people don't have a great deal of training experience when they jump on. But for someone who has been training for a while, or maybe they haven't, and they're considering using PEDs for whatever reason, what advice do you have to that person based off your experience using them?
Yeah, so a guy just called me now, wanted to jump on. He's like, doesn't even train. People look at the physiques and think, I got a comment on my last post. Put a picture up of me flexing, and it'll lead into what you're saying. But some like fake account, right? And I'm obviously looking okay. And this comment said, "But what would you look like without steroids? Not impressed." I'm not sure if you can actually zoom in on that right there because it probably just can't see it. People just think it's the steroids. Like, obviously, it definitely makes a difference, but I've done it without the steroids too. Like,
such a misconception around that.
Yeah. You don't need to take steroids. I don't want people to start taking steroids thinking it's the answer. I think you should get enough training under your belt to know what you're doing, have a decent understanding about the nutrition, and realize that if you do this, you probably won't stop. It's a never one cycle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I started when I was 22.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty young, started on gear,
How long had you been training up until that point?
6 years.
Yeah, and that's the thing I wanted to highlight or put a spotlight on as well. And you kind of just said it already, but that you have to build the foundation first.
I already looked really good without it. Yeah, really good. I was a freak without it. But I was obsessed, and then I thought I'll take the leap. And I would just do one cycle a year, 12 weeks into summer. And I come off, do my PCT. There wasn't blasting and cruising, back then. It was just cycling once. Now I pretty much just cruise, and now I'm going to blast a little bit because my blood work came back good, and I'm good to go. So I've got to go to Sydney in 10 weeks. I'm just going to take a little bit more, supplements. I won't go into it, but if you're thinking about it, get your blood work done. Go speak to a coach. If you're gonna do it, I recommend don't do it because you're going into a whole new world. Needles, injections. Obviously, it's illegal too, right? Mm-hmm. So I get all my stuff prescribed, all right, from a doctor. You know what I mean?
Got something in your eye.
Something in my eye, yeah, so it's a bit of a wink. But no. You just want to make sure you're doing it properly because it's not. You're fucking around with your hormones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You shut yourself down, and you might not never come back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So just be careful, or go bang up some sperm and at least have a backup if you want to have kids.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, seek a coach, get professional advice. See, my coach, Scott Slamer, now is a freak. He's very good, and he helps me with my blood work. My GP looks over my blood work, and Scott looks over it too. Mm-hmm. So I got my blood work done, came back. My liver enzymes was a little bit out, but otherwise everything was a little bit, my cholesterol was a little bit off. So I needed to eat some more seafood and get some more fish oils in me. But otherwise, I'm actually in good health. You know why? Because I don't take a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought if I do take something, everything else needs to be perfect. Mm-hmm. No other external factors. So just be really mindful. Don't look at. I'm not a really big guy either. I'm not huge.
We had this conversation last night.
People think I'm big. I'm not actually a big person. I'm not a huge freaking bodybuilder. When you're lean, you look bigger than what you are.
Exactly.
Do you know
Great
what I mean?
shape, lean.
Yeah.
Yeah. All around. One last thing I'll say on that.
Yes, sir. Just be careful with the steroids. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just
but
say.
I'm gonna get you on.
I was just going to say, I was going to say as well, like the question I feel like you should ask yourself, and this is what I would ask myself is why? As in, like, what's the reason behind it? And so if I look at someone like yourself, right?
Yeah.
Your social media presence, your brand, everything is based around you looking the part.
Absolutely.
And living the lifestyle, right? Whereas if you're making a decision because you want to fucking be the biggest dude in the gym, your local gym, it's like, what the fuck? Are you going to change your quality of life or your circumstance of life purely just to impress a couple of people in the gym? And so the objective of it, I think, is important as well.
Yeah. The objective is important, and there's nothing wrong with doing what you want, though.
Yeah, exactly right.
So if you want to just do it because you want to look jacked, fucking go for it, man. You know, I do see people saying only take gear if you compete. Well, I disagree with that. You know, you can do whatever you want. If it makes you feel good about yourself, and you've always, you feel better. Because I've been that guy. I feel way better now that I'm a bit bigger. You know, what's wrong with that? You can do whatever you want. You know, if it makes you happy, fuck it. So what? There's too many opinionated people. I think you really just do what makes you happy, as long as you don't hurt yourself. And if you're not hurting anyone else, what's it matter? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you're really not hurting anyone else, you can actually do this in a safer way.
In a safe way.
But don't make it your whole life just looking good. You got to fucking have your other shit together. You know, just don't put all your money into growth hormone gear and then you fucking broke cunt. Like, fuck, what's the point of that? You know, have something, do something. You know, make it a lifestyle thing. Yeah. So it's a tough one, but I'm more on the side. I'm more of the side. Say if you want to do it and you got to do it properly, by all means. I'm not telling you not to do it.
Love that, man. Want to wrap things up with just getting some insight into
yes, sir.
What your intention or where you see NeverHome going over the next few years in particular.
Yeah, so we haven't done $100,000 a month yet. We're trying to, we got small incremental goals to just get it to $100K a month revenue. So we might be there soon, depending on a few things we got into play. Then you need the stock to actually sell it.
Yeah.
Then you need the space. So we're kind of figuring out the scaling model of that. And I think we just need to spend more money on ads. But my goal right now is to get away from the paid ads so much because it's pretty expensive.
Become a little reliant on it too sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, they do work. We're getting new customers, but I'm just trying a strategy of just doing mass UGC content with influencers right now and really good physiques. So pretty much getting it out to as many influencers as I can, but giving them strict guidelines on what to actually say with the products. So it's like, hey, NeverHome's brought this in. It's so and so and so. It's 96% cotton, 4% spandex, whatever it is. This is that. It's designed like this. It makes me feel good. This is the what it's overcoming. This is why the product's great. the pain points, what it covers, and then trying that approach. So I'm just starting to literally work on that as of yesterday.
Becoming very omnipresent with this, with a specific message too.
Yeah, because you can't. The thing is, people just put a product or photo online, think it's going to sell.
Yeah.
No. See that product there? Like, it's got a few nice points to it on the right sleeve.
I love this.
So that is the most popular Bible verse in the world and my favorite Bible verse because I grew up going to church.
Yeah,
my parents are Christians. Oh, did you really? Yeah. So you know the Bible verse, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that one? John 3:16. For God so loved the world, gave His only begotten Son, that whoever believed in Him shall not perish but have eternal life.
Okay, yeah.
That's my favorite Bible verse.
Yeah.
And it's got my name in it. So I thought I'm going to put that, because I had a vision of putting Bible quotes on clothes and sharing the word with more people. Mm-hmm. I thought I'll just do it. You know, everyone's loved it. I'm getting messages going, fuck, I didn't know there's a Bible verse on this.
Yeah.
This is great.
That's cool, yeah.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
And then I put it on the sleeve because if, like, let's say I'm promoting your drink, right? It's all strategy. I can promote your drink, take your photo of the sleeve, and it's got never home, never compromise, never compromise, never give up on the sleeve.
On the sleeve.
So boom.
Yeah.
They'll tag the brand, and I'm thinking, how can I get more branding? And where is there somewhere I can see it?
Yeah, it's thoughtful.
So I put a lot of, I know it looks simple, but I put a lot of effort. Even the Australia logo in, see, it says Australia in NeverHome. And for that jumper there, I trialed a couple of versions. I did a puff print, and then I did an embroidered logo.
Yeah.
The embroidered one costs a little bit more, but I went with embroidered because it looked and felt better.
Looks better,
So the strategy with the brand is get it to 100, get it to 50, try and get that $1 million a month revenue, and then scale from there. And then hopefully, if all goes to plan, I want to get this a bit more international because we're just in Australia now. So we met with a guy called, I met with all these like e-commerce experts. You probably met with them too, right? Like,
I probably would know the
like
names.
Paul Waddy, I met with him last week to give us guidance. But I want one-on-one mentoring, but they don't do it. They just put you in these courses.
In these courses.
I did this other course for...
I'll point in the direction of a couple of people.
Can you help me? I need help. But it's so time-consuming, bro.
It is.
So look, I'm actually still trying to figure it out. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it. I've got little things in mind and people that are telling me what to do, but I've got to go with what I think's right. So I'm just looking at how other big brands have done it and kind of implementing it. But I'm trying to get the revenue up.
I think just before we wrap up, I think the thing that I like, even with your content you're doing at the moment, and I feel like this works so well for so many brands.
Yeah,
we're trying to do with Unify too, is showing as much as possible behind the scenes.
It's content.
Showing all the behind the scenes content and really getting people emotionally invested in the story, in the narrative, not just the product.
This morning I got up at 7 a.m.
Yeah, people buy from people, right?
Good morning.
This is me 7 a.m. this morning. I showed a live. I was just packing my orders this morning before I came here, right?
What?
See there? And I was just like going to the garage, getting the
That's
orders.
sick.
Then I was just having a protein shake, just like folding. Like I literally do it all myself. But that's content. And then because of that,
Good
I
manufacturer.
had 3 sales.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're not like, one of them was 200, one of them was 150, one of them was like another. So 3 sales came through because people are on the live and they're like, oh, I think they're on the live. It was just, unless it was freaky timing, but they saw me doing, it's real, man. I'm just fucking packing orders out of my living room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Love that.
show that. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
There's no big warehouse, bro. I've cut the cost down.
Our apartment has fucking about 300 to 400 kilos worth of supplements.
So it's in your apartment?
Yeah.
Good, man. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the big warehouses and stuff yet. And even though I got my partner now, we still do not want to blow out expenses.
Yeah, of course.
The store, only because he owns it, we thought we'd take the opportunity and I'll work out of it. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Too many overheads.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, bro, it's been fucking cool to get to know you a bit better today.
Thank you.
And
Appreciate
to
it.
hear your story and share it with the audience. And I'm looking forward to staying connected. And I'm sure we can. One of the things that I absolutely love from the podcast and even just in business and socials is connecting people within my network with other people. And so there's a bunch of people that I'm thinking of at the moment that I'd love to introduce you to.
Thank you.
I appreciate the transparency and the chat today and just hearing your story, man. And I'm looking forward to watching the growth of NeverHome. We'll have a link to all to the website in the show notes below as well, guys. And obviously to Johnny's socials if you're not following him already.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That was good fun.
Appreciate it, man. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. If you've enjoyed this episode, we'd love for you to grab a screenshot of this, share it on your Instagram story, tag us both. As I said, I'll have all the links in the show notes below. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. But we really appreciate you guys and really looking forward to chatting to you guys again very soon. Have Have an awesome day, guys.
Thank you so much.